Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. And it's a beautiful day for the Pirate Broadcast, and I'm here and interviewing interesting people doing interesting things. And I just wanted to remind everybody that, you know, if you're not on LinkedIn and you're not watching this streaming live, and you might want to watch on YouTube or Facebook or Periscope, you have the option, you have the opportunity to do that. And I'd also love if you were to like and subscribe and follow the podcast as well. You know what's out there, and support the pirates, the pirate community, and all the conversations that we're having here. And I love the fact that we're starting today off with a friend of mine, Nick, and he's up further north in a colder region of the world. And I just want to say hi and catch up and check in and see what you're doing, Nick. How you doing, man?
Good, you? Good, you?
Yeah,
I mean, that's awesome because there's snow outside here today, so that's something else.
Is that the first snow of the year?
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's quite the change. 2 weeks ago, plus 25 up here, and now we have snow, plus 25 Celsius, I guess, for you Americanos. So yeah, we're down south here, so you know, I just you know, we met through OGGN Oil and Gas and Warren Spiewak and the OGGN Pitch podcast. And we were doing some work on that. And I just wanted to extend the invitation to have you become a pirate, because I thought that there's a lot of your message is important for others to hear. You know, not everybody is in the tech field. Not everybody, you know, is a PhD and a scholar. And some of us have worked in the field. And, you know, I've been in construction and industry and picked up a welding torch and you know, and done a little bit of work here and there. And I know that you have, that's the focus of your business, and the focus of what you want to talk about, though, and some of the things that you've been doing is talking to some of the people out in the field that really don't have a voice and a message. And some of the things that we're talking about today are going to be around, you know, we can work our butts off, but it may not be the best use of our time every time. So I kind of walk us through the story and some of the things that you've experienced in your life and some of the changes that have been taking place the last couple of years, and so bring us up to speed. Yeah. And to quickly just run through, 1998, started welding, got married 2003, had my first child in 2005, second 2008. And in that mix, I started my own welding company in 2004. Right. And then fast forward 2012, started pipeline inspection. And that's just what I found my love in doing, was just making sure everything was safe. Everybody was safe. We did a lot of pipeline maintenance and some new construction, but yeah, I just love the fact of the pipeline maintenance. Fast forward another couple of years, construction manager at a major distribution company, the youngest construction manager at the time in that organization. Scary stuff. But just rolling with the punches, right? Yeah. And then shortly after that, or 3 years after that, 2018, wife left me. Just didn't want to do counseling, didn't want to do anything, just wanted to be separated, divorced, and just done. So, yeah, in a nutshell, man, like that's a whirlwind of like 20 years of grinding it out and going from the highs. You know, this is the third recession that I'll be in, personally, 41 years old, third recession through the oil and gas that I've been in, and had zero tools to be able to navigate that. And it was just get up in the morning, get on the phone, grind, like, you know, this whole internet thing, as long as it's been around, using it as a platform. You know, LinkedIn isn't what it was, you know, 5 years ago. So
Right.
to try to network the way that you can now on it, it wasn't there, like, in my opinion. And it wasn't used for what it should have been. But now I see that changing, and a lot of connections like this are being made. Like, how the hell could we have, how else would we have connected if it wasn't for Mark and the OGGN, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's just amazing. And now we get to have these conversations. So in a nutshell, that's how my career went. And I love oil and gas. Like, I absolutely love it. And it's the adventure part, right? I'm in a different town every, might not be the best hotel. It might not be the best bed, right? But I just love it. But what I found was, like, there's a saying out there, you can't be a pipeliner unless you're on your third wife. Like, that's
well, not every relationship can survive the absence of being gone.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that took a toll on my relationship. And I wasn't in the oil and gas industry. However, I was commuting, I was traveling, I was gone 6 months out of the year. And it's really difficult, and trying to keep two almost separate lives available and working. When you show up when you're home and you do all the work that needs to be done while you're home, and you're there for a brief period of time, and then you're back working. You're back in what you have to do to what you think is the right thing to do when you're in it. And it's like, okay, well, maybe I wasn't paying attention to some of the things I needed to pay attention to, or how important was it really to do what is necessary in order to accomplish a family life versus, really accelerating at work. And it sounds like that's exactly what you were doing. You loved your job, you loved the industry, you loved what you were doing, and it shows up because you excelled at it, and you've been in it, and you're still in it over 3, downturns. And that takes a toll on family too.
Yeah, and it does. It's numerous different industries for sure that people are gone. So we're going to choose, no matter what it is, you're going to choose whatever lights you on fire. And sometimes we just fall into it. Like, I fell into the trades because I needed more beer money. Seriously, like, I was playing slow pitch, right, on this slow pitch team after my baseball career was over, and so I was in this competitive ball team, right, and I just was complaining the one day about how much, man, I just need more beer money. Like, this sucks. Like, oh, one guy on the team, hey man, they're hiring at the shop that I work at. Do you want to just come? Sure, let's do it. Like, I was not mechanical. I never knew anything. Give me a grinder? Are you kidding me? I didn't even know what it was, right? So I just stepped into it, and then, but like, from day one, just the camaraderie, the brotherhood, like, everybody came together to show you. That was old school, and a lot of it's changed now with that. But back in the day, like, that's what it was. It was just, here you go, and they helped me through that process, and that's what drew me to it. And then, man, I get to make sparks. I get to make loud noise. I get to make fire. Like, I was a welder, right? Like, I get to make fire. Like, this is amazing. Every day, sign me up. Sign me up, man. And so that's the excitement about it. And so you're going to choose these avenues, and you're going to choose these professions. But what does that do on the back end, right? Like, how does that affect your kids, and how does that affect your wife when she's, I thought I was doing the right thing when I was giving her the platform to raise the kids. Like, not giving her, like, that's what we chose to do. Like, okay, we'll go grind. We make pretty good money. You can stay home. Yeah. Right? And if that resonates with anyone, like, this is what happens. Like, you think you're doing the right thing, and you are, like, having your kids raised by your wife or yourself if you're the stay-at-home dad, right? Like, that's huge, right? You get to actually mold your kids. But the downside of that is that there's a lot of resentment on both sides. There's a lot that you don't talk about, right? The resentment of everyone's life at home is expanding, right? The kids are going into new activities. The wife has new friends all the time. The kids are in sports. They meet new people. But all you do when you're home is you just show up. You just slide into that soccer game. You slide into that baseball game, whatever it is. You just slide it and they sit there and nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Like they might know your name, they know your face, but they don't know who you are. So you're just fitting in. Yeah, man. And you're just fitting in. So then you just show up. And the whole time that you're there for those few days, you're thinking about what's going to happen at the net once you leave and once you go back to work and what needs to go in. So if you're on the supervision part, right? Do I have my permits in place? Do I have all of these things?
Even though you're there, you're not really there.
Oh man, and it's so hard. So like being present, and this is what we teach. And this is like I had no idea, man. Like man, side note, when I went to Thailand for rehab, not for drugs or alcohol, just low mood. We'll call it low mood. So when I was at my lowest point, right after wife left, and finally started dealing with what that actually was and what was actually happening, and I just went away. I just needed something to do. So now learning meditation, like, dude, I'm tradesman. I've sports all my life. You want to, like some hardcore stuff has gone on, like sports, like powerlifting, all that stuff. Now you want to talk about meditation and mindfulness
and your feelings.
And your feelings? What? Are you
the power of no?
Yeah. What? Boundaries? What? And man, so that was a definite game changer. But when the place they not force you to, it's part of the program, I should put, right, is meditation for 20 minutes every morning.
Yeah.
Every morning you got to meditate at this place in Thailand. Like, it was a locked facility, right? But we got to go out once a week and go to the beach. It was kind of cool. But so you're in this locked facility and I'm there with like crackheads, meth addicts, and they're able to meditate for 20 minutes. Why can't I? I don't have these issues. Like, that's not me. Right?
Yeah.
So I just bought into it and I just sat there and and now it's a daily practice, and it's just a game changer, man. Like, seriously, a world changer.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about the future and what it holds for you and others that know you. And I want to first off, I want to highlight a couple of the people that are in the room today. Wendy, good morning, Admiral, and the new pirate Nick. So welcome here. And this is very welcoming. This is a very welcoming. Hey, Nick and Russ, Michael Baker. And so when you support the Pirate Posse, we support you. Absolutely, positively. Craziest thing is your story is pretty much the same as mine as well. So ironic, Terry Day. Fantastic. I love and you guys need to connect. Nick is getting on the platform and being available and helping others. And I resonate with Nick because he has a story that I can relate to. And, we're all, if you pull the thread long enough, you're always going to find a relationship. You're going to find an idea that connects us all. So, and then Kathy Spooner. Hey, Kathy's going to be a pirate here shortly. So Kathy, good morning. How are you doing? And then Gabriel's here. Good fellow pirates. Fantastic. And then Wendy, I wonder if this will show up, Wendy. I want to find out. So I want to read this off for the podcast. A dear friend was determined to be a surgeon, so he worked hard in med school. And when he applied for the surgical team, he was told that 90% of surgeons get divorced. He immediately stepped out with no regrets and said, "But I love my wife. Knowing what we might face gives us a better perspective to see if it works. Not knowing in advance is a hard situation for a partner who isn't 100% committed to that life. Happens to all of us and who are totally committed. You're a wonderful asset to, and I think, Nick, it's really about having, and this is what I discovered. I don't know if anybody else can relate to this. This is my situation, is I thought I was moving in the direction of the idyllic life. I had acres, I had horses, I had llamas, I had all this property. My boy's mother was, staying at home, raising the kids, and I was working, a lot of hours every day, commuting 5 hours a day, essentially. And essentially I was on a quick path to suicide and, a bad ending. Mm-hmm. And fortunately, looking back now, is the company was sold and I was ejected from the corporate ladder. And so it all fell apart. And, I was much like you. Instead of going to Thailand, I just loaded my camping gear up in the car and I went camping for a year. So it's, we all have these, I had 15 years of company and 18 years of marriage, and it all went down the drain in about a week. So that change, that transition gave me the tools necessary to be who I am today, much like you did. You took a sharp left turn and said, okay, I'm going to learn how to meditate. I'm going to learn how to do some of this work. So the reality is that we all have these changes in our lives. We all have this opportunity to be different, to do different things, and treat others in a different way. And so your gift right now that you're presenting to the world is helping other people in your situation think about how they can be different. So talk a little bit about that, Nick.
Yeah. And I love what Wendy said there. The only thing I will challenge is that surgeon, he wanted to be a surgeon so bad, right? So I would challenge that surgeon to really think, did he actually make the right decision? So his wife, he does have a good relationship with his wife, but is that his calling? If his calling truly was being a surgeon, would he actually be happier, regardless of the outcome with that wife, right? And so this is what I challenge people in the oil and gas is we pick this path, we pick this career and profession. So how are you going to, and it transfers to anything, but how are you going to make a full life when you're actually pulling off what you want to pull off? So if you want to climb the corporate ladder and do all of that, if that lights you on fire, great. But things are going to have to get sacrificed along the way to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But if it's aligned with you,
there's a cost on both sides of the equation.
Yep.
Either you have to say, okay, I'm more committed to my family and my wife than I am my career. And that goes both directions. And the best magic is when it happens in both directions, right?
Yeah. And this is what I want to tie into is this is what we play. This is the game that we play now. And this is the system that I have in place that I'm launching today is you can have it all. You can freaking have it all by just doing simple daily deposits.
Yeah.
Right. Doing simple daily deposits and just not showing up. Like the biggest thing with a lot of us that work away is you just grind away, you put some money away in the bank, and then you just show up when it's time, you're on your days off and you just expect your wife to, run upstairs and drop her panties.
Yeah.
Like not to get graphic, right? But that's what you're expecting. And that's because you just went and grinded out for 3 months in the bush, right? Well, what you didn't do the whole time was actually put in deposits. Did you ask her questions? Did you see how she was actually doing? Right? Did you actually tell her you appreciate her looking after the kids for 3 months? Right? So this is what we do. And it's so when I say you can have it all, we deal in 4 areas. We deal in our fitness. We deal in our fuel, so our being. We deal in our family and our relationships, and we deal in our business and our finances, right? So the 4 F's: fitness, fuel, family, and finance. So now every day I do daily deposits in those areas, and I play it as a game. I give myself points for showing up, for doing 2 things for my body, right? For my fitness. I sweat every day, whether that's 25 push-ups or a CrossFit workout, whatever it is aligned with me for that day, right? And I drink a green smoothie. Make it simple.
Yeah.
Right? And then fuel, I meditate, and I do a cognitive game called the Patriot Missile game every day. And along with that, I do something that fills my cup, right? So me, for coaching men how to do this, that fills my cup. So that's part of my being. So I get a point for that, right? When you simplify this as a game, it makes it a lot easier. Who doesn't like to play games, whether you're not a video game guy or not? Like when you know that you're going to win at the end of the week, or if you're winning or you're losing, isn't that like a good metric? Right. Yeah. So, and then on our relationship, do you send we make it simple. Send a freaking message of love, honor, and appreciation to your wife and your kids every day.
Yeah.
Sweet. Like it sounds simple, but on top of that, tell them why. Like, doing this to a 12-year-old, probably not going to resonate. You want to play with that a little bit, but to your wife, when was the last time you told her why you appreciate her or why you love her? Like just throwing out a quick, hey, babe, I love you, and then running off and then going grinding it out for 12 hours, that doesn't quite cut it, right? Yeah. What would happen if in your relationship if you actually said why? Like why I love you and why, to your parents, like why I actually love you.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of relationship you're in with your parents. If you actually told them that, you think that might not change over 3 months, 6 months, 12 months down the road if you did that every day.
Yeah.
And then in your finances, if you learn something about money, who the heck knows about money? I don't. I'm horrible with money. Horrible, because I've made so much money and lost it, right? Doing this work, like we get paid quite well, used to get paid quite well. And then we just throw it all away. Yeah. So now if we learn something about money and teach something every day in our money, how would that change your life? If you did those 4 things, how would that change?
How would that change?
Right. And I'm living proof that I've been doing this for a year and a half now, living this way and playing this game and keeping track and keeping these metrics.
Do you see a big difference?
Just feeling at the end of the week when I check in with myself at the end of the week, like tally up my points, what I got for the week. And it's just like, okay, this worked, this didn't, this worked, this didn't. Yeah. Okay, let's tweak this. And what you're doing is you're actually trying to make your ideal week. Like at the end of the day, and that keeps shifting as you're when you're honest with yourself, right? Did this actually work?
Well, when you're honest with yourself, what happens is different things show up and you know what to measure. Because when you're just going blind, you're just in the groove, just grinding it out, just heads down, not necessarily paying attention to the rest of the world. You miss so many things. You miss so many opportunities. And it's just mind-boggling when you start to pay attention to everything that you're talking about. So I want to give a shout out to Kenyatta. Kenyatta's here. Hey, Nick and Russ. Good morning to y'all. The Pirate Broadcast Meditation. Yes. Spiewak in the house. Every day. And Bjorn, hey, a friend from Seattle. He's a plumber. He's one that rolls up his sleeves, has a great family, and love you, man. Take care. Mike Baker, good morning. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being in the pirate community. Kathy, mindfulness benefits are amazing. It's so amazing to think that it's and then Gabriel says, good morning, everyone, fellow pirates. Does Nick want to come on Made from Scratch broadcast? Nick, you open?
I'm in. I'm always in. Yeah.
Kathy Spooner says, woohoo, very excited about tomorrow. Thank you so much. Morning, Cassandra. Thank you so much for being here. Gabriel says, we love to bring on fellow pirates. Yeah. Well, Gabriel and I go back and forth. We actually, he does his in the afternoon. I do my show in the morning. So Sugdev, hey, good morning, Russ and Nick. Meditation and breath work have been daily part of my life for 3 years and has helped me immensely after my MVCs, motor vehicle collisions. He had 2 collisions in the period of 6 months, and it really impacted his life. And now he's doing some things. We're going to be working together on a podcast in the near future. Kathy Spooner, very true. Love the mindset. Con, late to the party, but wanted to say good morning. Ahoy, Pirates. Con's another great individual that's helping a lot of people out there. So the emotional bank account. Yes, yep. The emotional bank account. Con says gamification for life for the better, top of mind and acting with a purpose. Mm-hmm. I think that's important to consider because Nick is a highly evolved caveman. What a privilege to listen to him speak.
I love that. I love that.
Wendy's a character. I love her. It takes emotional maturity for a man to be vulnerable. Absolutely. Absolutely. Positively. And that's why I think you and I resonate, is because we've seen the challenging parts of our lives and some of the things that, have caused us to reclaim some of our power and ability to see and change our perspective. So what's this program that you got going on, Nick, before we wrap up? I want to share it with the community and let people know that there is an opportunity for people to get involved and engaged in a different way.
Yeah, so quickly, I'll just drop it in the comments after the link for the sign-up page. But it's essentially just, we're going to have a weekly Pipe Dream Power Hour every Sunday. And every Sunday, it'll be a Zoom meeting. People come in, and then we just start running through the program. It's a group program. Everyone comes in, and we just teach them the benefits. So every week for an hour, okay, what are the facts of your life? Right? We just roll through. This is uncomfortable. Like, we just roll through. And then the next week we talk about what can you do for your body? And the next week, and we have some cool coaches like that are powerlifting. He's #1 in the world right now in 100% raw, right? And he's a personal trainer. So we just bring these experts in to in these areas. But I just, as the facilitator, I just fire people up. So in their body, and then the next week it's going to be a dating and relationship coach, and that's what she specializes in. And then we have a finance guy the next week, and we're going to rotate that through for 2 months for $27. $27. You show up, and then every day you drop into the group. You start playing your game your day as a gamification. So we teach you how to keep your points, and then you just put in the chat that we have on Facebook. Yep. And you just put that in. So the accountability part is huge, right? Absolutely. So then you just have a group of other like-minded individuals who want to start thriving in this life and not relying on anybody else to save them, but themselves, right?
That's a huge point, Nick. And I want to encourage everybody, when you start taking responsibility for your own outcome is when you recover your power. Your true power is because when you have someone else to blame or something else or something happened to me or woe is me kind of thing, you give it all away. You don't maintain that authority and ability to make your own decisions. And so when you recover that and you bring it back into your life and you're able to, kind of grow into that individual, and you're taking responsibility for your actions, then it changes everything.
Oh, and it's just living life with intention. And could you imagine, again, like keeping track of your gamification of your life, but living every day and every choice is aligned with your values. We teach you in the program, we teach you how to figure out your values. We teach you how to figure out like a mission statement. Who has a mission statement for their own life? Like, I didn't even know this stuff. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I just laughed all this stuff off for years, Russ. Like, seriously. But once I was in the pit, and then once I seen the people on the other side that were actually living this way, and the relationships were starting to skyrocket. And the funny thing is, and I talked about this on the Pitch podcast, was everyone starts with money. If I have more money, everything's going to be okay. But what we play in this game, we start with your body, right? We start with your fitness. and then your fuel, like your being, and then your family and your relationships. And guess what comes last? Money. So if you're aligned in these three areas, money starts coming.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality. And we always default to money because it's a lot easier just to go and grind and make another phone call or send another email when you should be present with your kids. So if you're living with intent and set 5 minutes aside to send those emails and to respond to those messages instead of taking time away from your kids, isn't that the life that we want? Right. So when
I think that's a lot of people are discovering that's what success is really about, is having, friends and family that really matter, and, reaching out and having a community that supports you. And, that's and I keep expressing that to the pirate community. It's like, I've chased the chase. I've been in the race. I've fallen down, broken, I've been locked up and homeless, everything in between. And I can tell you that what the difference is when you actually are paying attention to what's really important in defining your own success on your own terms. So,
and going along with that, like just looking at yourself, right, and knowing more about your story each time we talk, right? Now with you dealing with or wanting a more connected family, connected, and your connections with LinkedIn and all of these cool people, right? Success is coming. Here's Russ everywhere. I see Russ everywhere, right? And success comes after, but it was only after dealing with the other things.
Yeah.
And that's what we teach people. So when I say you can truly have it all, like the results speak for themselves. And Russ, a different path, but I found that this path with the gamification, man, it's an accelerator. It's an accelerator. So.
Well, and I know you're going to help a lot of people, Nick. So thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for being a pirate. And I appreciate you and all the things that you're doing and the efforts that you're putting into it. So wishing you all the best in your adventures. And thank you so much again for your time. And pirates, if you aren't connected to Nick, go on LinkedIn. He's on LinkedIn. Go track him down. The show notes will be in the podcast in the post at russjohns.com, so you can collect all that information. And then, Nick, make sure that I get your link to your program so I can share that out as well, and make sure that we have an opportunity to support you being a new pirate and all. And everyone, as you know, this is so important. Our lives are so important, and the people around us, we need to support each other and make sure that we're doing what we can with what we have, where we are. So, and as you know, kindness is cool. Smiles are free. So you enjoy the day. Till next time, see ya. Don't go away, Nick. Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.